I was asked about growing apart and feeling isolated. So I'm going to do my best to make this one short. Check in may be helpful to write down when you met the person, when you all decided to journey together. What was your need in that moment? Right? And there may be multiple needs, but you want to write down. My invitation is write down. I needed company. I needed somebody that I could share my life with. I needed to explore new possibilities. I needed to explore love with a committed partner. Whatever it is, whatever your needs are. Hell, it might even look like I needed to feel validated or to feel attractive, right? So write down what your needs were in that moment. The next thing that I would invite you to do is to write down who's moving, right? So when you say moving apart, are you both moving apart? Is one person moving apart and the other person chasing them? So they recognize that there's still some movement. Or does the movement look like this? One person's moving and the other person's staying still. That one would be akin to if you've ever been in a car and a big truck or bus was by you and then it started moving and you felt like you were the one moving. So, in the question, it's dealing with moving apart or growing apart, right? And growing is a type of movement. And growth only ever bespeaks something that's healthy and rooted in nurturance. So notice the two pieces, growing apart and feeling isolated. So one person is growing, progressing, the other person is not because their experience is isolation. And sometimes the isolation has a lot to do with the thoughts that we create and construct. So we're isolated in a cocoon that we've created of thoughts and thoughts of possibilities. What does this mean? Why is this happening? Why can't I go anyplace? Is this going to change for the better? Am I going to be okay on the other end of this growing apart piece? Right? Because I don't think it would be a question if you understood that growth would be something to celebrate. So for me, the focus is more on the isolation and a new interpretation. And it's just what I'm making up is why is this person growing, moving away, and I am stagnant and feeling isolated? That's why I invited at the top of this to write down what were the needs at the beginning, because you may find that the person satisfied the role that you needed them to play. So there's nothing left. You may also find, and what I mean by nothing left is nothing left for them to satisfy or do in your life. They're complete. Another possibility is it may be showing you that you are fixated or focused on one area of your life rather than looking at all areas. So, okay, if the relationship with this person seems to be taking a toll while I investigate that or allow the truth of it to unfold, I'll focus on my financial life, or I'll focus on my life's purpose, or I'll focus on my social life, or I'll focus on health and wellness. Like if you were engaged, you, the one experiencing isolation, were engaged in growth in other areas of your life, you may find that the isolation just gives you feedback that in this moment you're stagnant, stuck, locked into one way of seeing, perceiving, or thinking about an experience, or just locked into one aspect of your life. So, growing apart, feeling isolated. The role may be complete. Opportunity for growth. If you're feeling isolated, that's hindering growth. So the last thing I'll offer is just simply ask. And it may sound or feel strange, but just go, okay, isolation, what are you teaching, showing, and revealing to me? Because every feeling will show you something. And remember, every feeling and emotion is connected to a thought. Well, once you get clear on what those thoughts are and write them down without censoring yourself or editing. Oh, I don't think that's it. Just write them all down. Even if it's something as bizarre as going to the store pops up. It's not for you to figure it out. You've asked the question, what are you showing me? And then you might find going to the store doesn't seem bizarre because you may recognize that you don't have any food in your house because you've been so fixated on being isolated by this relationship where only one of you seems to be growing that you've not engaged in self-care. Self-care might look like, oh snap, if I went to the store, then I can get the stuff that I need, and I'd be focusing on that area of my life, and that would be an example of growth and continuation.